Hey, my beautiful, beautiful bird watchers. My name is Light Blue Jay. Ew, I hate that intro. I should have a better intro. Whatever. VR photo rooms are some of my favorite rooms in VRChat. Now, let me preface this by saying I've been trying to get this out for days at this point. So, if I ramble or this looks awful, fuck off. I don't care. Anyway, I guess if you don't know what a VR photo room is, because I mean, that's literally my name for them. I have no clue what the actual name for them is. I'm guessing it really is just like photo room. I don't know. But basically, in VRChat, you can run across these. Like, they're plentiful. But they're basically just rooms where, you know, groups of friends will basically just put up all their, like, photos. Sometimes it's not, like, you know, just photos everywhere. You know, sometimes it's, like, just, like, a wall of photos as well as just, like, a hangout spot. And sometimes it literally is just, like, a room that's just full of photos, you know, of them exploring the VR metaverse, you know, whether that's meeting new people or going to new places or something like that. And again, like I said, they're all over VRChat. Like, you can go into random, you know, scroll for a little bit and you'll probably find like 3 or 4. These rooms are probably not as interesting to like people who have VR friends, because in essence, VR photo rooms are basically just like photo albums for friends, you know. However, I'm a person that spends 99.9% of my time in VRChat just wandering around, just world hopping alone. So these rooms probably shouldn't be as interesting as they are, but they're incredibly interesting to me. And I remember they were super interesting definitely when I first started actually playing VRChat, because at the start all I had was my Oculus Quest, you know, 1, not the 2, the 1. And if you've used the Oculus Quest 1, you know how bad VRChat was. I've heard it's very good on the Oculus Quest 2 because of that XR2 chip, everything works a little bit better. But on the Oculus Quest 1, VRChat was neutered at best, absolutely unplayable at worst. But when I got my new PC, you know, when I, you know, got a better graphics card and everything, I remember when I actually built my PC, I made sure, like, one of the big things was I wanted to run VR well. And I remember I went to a site and I was like, alright, can it run Pavlov VR, because I really wanted to try out Call of Duty Zombies in VR, and can it run VRChat? Site said yes, that's the graphics card I got. But anyway, so when I first got VRChat, you know, I was just jumping around random rooms, you know, just trying to see like what was going on, like, you know, what is there to see. And I remember I went into this room that was basically, it was a all white series of corridors. Like, the rooms were just glowing. The floor, the ceiling, the walls were all glowing white, you know what I'm saying? And not all of the walls were covered, but many of the walls were just covered in pictures of this group of friends, you know, along with just random people. And most of the pictures were like pretty small, so it was like the floor to ceiling was just like, you know, 4 rows of pictures that just went. And I remember you went down the right side and it was like a long corridor that turned left into another long corridor, and it was just covered in pictures. And if you went down the left side, it was another corridor, but then you'd go forward and it would just be like this giant room, and one side was filled with pictures but the other side wasn't. And I remember I was just walking through this place just looking at the pictures, like, it felt like a museum. It was weird. In fact, that room actually was the room that introduced me to like the camera feature. Before, I kind of knew it was a thing, but I didn't really look too much into it. But that was the first time I actually pulled it out and like snapped a photo of myself, as well as like a picture of myself in that giant room. And it kind of interested me in like VR photography, I guess you could say, because VRChat has some beautiful rooms, and I wish it was easier to take out the camera in VRChat, because going through the menus to pull it out and then like that weird like bit of slowdown, maybe it's just because my computer isn't the best, but that little bit of slowdown kind of just pushes me off of actually wanting to take pictures in VR. But if I see cool things, I will, like, I don't crouch down much in VR, but I will crouch down and get like that cool shot, you know, just because there's so much. Anyway, you know, so I looked through that room, it piqued my curiosity, and then as I went along, I also saw more and more rooms that were like that, you know, like I'd come across another room, I'd check it out. Another one that pops out in my mind, it was kind of hidden, actually. So the room was basically like a sci-fi kind of space station apartment thing. You know, you'll come across them a lot. You know, everybody likes that sci-fi apartment kind of vibe. You know what I'm saying? And this one was pretty typical. To be honest, it had a bedroom. You started out in the bedroom. It had a video player for a TV and a nice little analog clock on like the bedside table. You went out and then it would just be this kind of outside lounge area with a bar kind of seating thing going on and a futon sofa type thing looking out to the balcony. And this balcony view was beautiful. Like he was looking over basically, how do I explain this? So basically it was like a ball space station and like the apartment was on the outside looking in, so it was just like this beautiful view of just this kind of half bustling, but it looked like it was kind of like midnight kind of sci-fi spaceship city thing, if that makes any sense. But after, you know, looking around, and I do have to also say everything had like a blue tinge to it, so it was very calming, especially like I'm guessing it was like probably 1 or 2 in the morning, you know, on like a Tuesday, because that's the most fun time to like, you know, world hop in VR. But anyway, like after looking around and everything, I was like, oh, this is a pretty nice place. I like the vibe and everything. And then I realized I could actually like go through the door. Like it was closed, but you could go through it. So I, you know, left the room and I walked down the hallway and I went up to the elevator and I pressed the button expecting nothing to happen. And instead it teleported me to like this secret photo room, and the walls were just lined in pictures of varying sizes. Like unlike the, you know, all white corridor, this one had like tall pictures and wide pictures and ones that took up entire walls and everything. And I remember I walked around and looked at all the pictures and I was like, wow. And I felt like I kind of got a bit more of a connection towards the people who actually made the room. I don't know. I also didn't say this, but this is more of a rambling type thing because these are thoughts I've had in my head, and I thought I might as well just speak them and put them somewhere, because the fact that YouTube gives you like unlimited video storage is amazing, so I might as well, you know, use it. Anyway, so I'll come across a bunch of VR photo rooms in my late night VRChat wanders that I love to do, and it's always these little interesting spaces. Like I said before, they're usually like photo rooms and hangout spaces, and I just love like just kind of hanging out in there for much longer than I feel that most people would. Granted, I don't know many people in VR, so maybe I'm wrong. Maybe people hang out in here for much longer, people that don't belong, I guess you could say. And usually because it's so late, these spaces are always devoid of people. It makes them feel like abandoned places. It feels like a place that people should be in because it's designed for hanging out in, but there's no one there. And it makes them feel like, you know, like an abandoned like schoolhouse or abandoned factory or abandoned mall, you know, except they're all beautiful and pristine. Like these places could be abandoned. Like, you know, it could have been like a group that, you know, came together for like a few weeks and then just drifted apart. But these little thumbprints of them are just there and pristine. It kind of feels like urban exploration without like the danger of something like cracking and crumbling on your head. And not as much travel. Like you can just, you know, jump from abandoned place to abandoned place. I'm calling them abandoned. They may not be abandoned. They're probably not abandoned. And plus the pictures, you know, in like an abandoned building, there will be like maybe some pictures, but a lot of them might have been, you know, taken by people that came there before you. The place might be like tagged and stuff. The pictures add even more depth to the area that makes them that much more kind of interesting to explore, I guess, because you kind of get to know the people, kind of. And it's even heightened by the fact that you can choose whatever avatar you have in VRChat. So like if you go into a room and you see someone that has like one of the kind of generic like kind of anime pretty boy kind of things, and you're like, okay, so they're probably like this. And if they have like a little cat person, you're like, oh, they're probably like this. In the pictures you might see someone, you know, with default, you kind of get like this feel of who they are through the pictures. And I guess in a way this kind of applies to any VRChat world, which is probably why I love kind of world hopping in VRChat at night. I mean, VRChat is very popular in Japan and stuff like that, so there are people still walking around, but for the most part, you get in there like late at night, and especially if you just scroll through random worlds, a lot of the time you're not going to find anyone. You know, you're going to walk into a world and there's not going to be anyone in there, and you kind of just have it all to yourself, and you can look around at, you know, stuff on the walls and stuff on the floor and kind of get a feel of the creator. And because every kind of world has a story to it, every world has a vibe that the creator was aiming for, you know. Just a few days ago, actually, I wandered into a hangout space. I believe it was for a group called like We the Few, I think, or something like that. And it was beautiful. I mean, I guess you would call it like a hangout lounge on the sea. Basically, you walked into it. On the left side, it was like a bar area with some bar seating and everything and a few glasses sitting out. On the right side, it was a mirror that was always on, which I kind of hate because, you know, if it's always on, it's like I turn that way and my frames go from like, you know, 72 to 48. But then right in front of you, you also had like a seating area, and there was some glass in front of you, and beyond it, a calm sea with some rain kind of splashing on the window. It was beautiful and so calm. And I remember just walking in there, looking at myself in the mirror, because that's what you do when you're in VRChat, kind of messing around with the glasses, and then just standing and kind of letting the atmosphere trickle in. And then I opened my eyes and I was like, oh yeah, this is VR. Which it's in VR is just so cool, man. Those moments are so, you know what I'm saying? Does this make any sense? I don't know if this makes any sense. And I guess, a bit of info about me, like real life me, I guess. One of my favorite things to do is just wander around at night. Okay. I like to wander around like my college campus at night, I guess you should say. I'll take my like Bluetooth speaker, I'll get some earbuds, usually my Bluetooth speaker, because having earbuds in at like 3 in the morning is kind of creepy, but like, you know, I'll get my Bluetooth speaker, I'll get my phone, I'll get a jacket. And it's like, it doesn't even matter if I'm like wearing shorts, I'll just walk out into the night and just listen to music and just walk around, you know, super late at night. And it's especially fun on weekdays when there's little to no chance of actually running into other people. And that feeling of freedom that comes with the dead of night when there's little to no things going on, you know, it's such a, I guess it's a liberating feeling. I don't know, you know, I guess I would just call it liberating to be one of the only people around, really. And it's much more interesting to explore these areas that you've been to so much without like the kind of hustle and bustle of other people getting to places. And of course, like, you're also hustling to get to class or something like that. Like, you don't really get to kind of explore the calmness of these areas, you know. And it also puts them in just a different context. It kind of reminds me of that one video that Solar Sands did on, like, I guess, I can't remember exactly what was the name of it? Liminal spaces, that was it. I remember in it he basically said that liminal spaces are basically spaces that are designed for people but have no people in them. And with that kind of separation of context, it puts these places in different lights, saying it puts them in a different light than, you know, you might know. And I guess in a way VR kind of brings that kind of feeling of twilight liberation, I guess you could call it, to like new settings. And okay, while full-blown world with stores and markets and stuff aren't around in VR yet, which like they definitely will be in like the next 10-15 years, especially if like a big company decides like, we're gonna build the Oasis or something like that. You know, just wandering around just a small apartment in like the middle of a nebula is fine enough for me. Plus, with so many different worlds available in VRChat, it feels like you're actually wandering around a Twilight world, you know, with so many different like apartments and spaces and stuff like that. And I guess in a way, photo rooms kind of heighten that experience, because like not only are you just jumping from like world to world now, but you're also kind of able to learn about the people that live in that world as well, in a way. kind of. And even if it's just pictures, it's kind of astonishing just how much you can learn about someone from a picture, especially when that picture is of a person's avatars that they chose from potentially billions of other avatars. You know, avatar worlds in VRChat are almost as plentiful as VR photo rooms, so I don't know. You know, I've been having this discussion with myself, you know, for a bit, and I thought I'd just kind of, you know, speak my mind, I guess I kind of just want to put my little discussions out there, you know, these discussions I kind of have with myself, to kind of gain more insights and views on them that aren't like my own squared, you know what I'm saying? Because if you have the same conversation with yourself, you're just gonna have, it's kind of like being in like an echo chamber, you're just gonna parrot the same ideas. So maybe, you know, my ideas are wrong, I don't know, give me your thoughts, you know. Anyway, I guess that was all I really had to say. If you're listening and you're new, please share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear what you have to say about my thoughts. And I guess that's it. I'm Light Blue Jay and keep watching the skies. Oh god. Anyway, adios.